Hey there, welcome back to the SnakeMake series. Today, we will be diving into a super useful feature, the dry run command. You will see how it can save you time and effort when working on complex workflows. So let's jump into it. As you continue working on increasingly complex projects, you may find yourself in situations where it is impractical to run the SnakeMake pipelines locally in your computer. In some cases, the software required to run the pipeline is already installed in the cluster, and getting it set up in your own local computer will be time-consuming. Or your local computer may not have that processing power or memory capacity to handle the massive datasets. So the dry run command allows you to preview your workflow execution without actually having to run. In other words, it simulates the execution of your workflow and displays the steps that would be performed without you actually carrying these steps. This is especially useful when you have a large or complex workflow, as it helps you identify any potential issues or inefficiencies before you invest time and resources into running the pipeline. So how does it work? To use the dry run command, you simply need to add the end or dry run flag when calling SnakeMake from the command line. So when you execute this command, SnakeMake will parse your SnakeMake file, which is the file containing all your workflow rules. And it will then display a summary of the tasks that will be executed, their order, and the dependencies between them. So the key here is that SnakeMake will assume that after running any rule, the output file will always be generated, independently of what it is inside the shell command. You can literally write nothing in the shell command, and you will still have the dry run running without any problems at all. In other words, the dry run only cares about the defined inputs and output and ignores the shell command altogether. So let's start with a simple SnakeMake workflow. We have a rule called to run in Slurm that takes sample a.txt as input and output sample a.csv. The rule all specifies sample a.csv as the input, ensuring that this to run in Slurm rule gets executed. So now let's use the dry run command to preview our workflow. By running SnakeMake c1n, we can see the steps that will be executed without actually running. So now let's introduce some different errors in our SnakeMake file and see how the dry run command can help us detect and fix them. So we'll start with the missing file, input file first. We'll change the file name of sample a to sample underscore a underscore txt, which doesn't exist. So when we run the pipeline, the dry run command alert us about this missing input file. We can fix this by correcting the file name in the SnakeMake file, for example. Then we can have a leak in the pipeline. So now let's change the output file name in the to run in Slurm rule to say a underscore csv. Now the old rule is expecting sample a, but the rule is producing sample a underscore csv. Running the pipeline with the dry command highlights this discrepancy, allowing us to fix the issue by correcting the output file name. So finally, we can inspect commands. So let's modify the shell command in the to run in Slurm rule by removing the backslash before the output. This creates a syntax error in the shell command. To detect this, we can use SnakeMake with the dry run and the p command, which includes actually the shell commands in the dry run output. And this helps identify the signal and fix the error by adding back this slash. So combining dry run with the print statement allows us to see whether the shell command is well formed or it has any mistake. Why should you care about the dry run command? Again, well, there are several reasons that can be a game changer for your workflow. We focus on error detection. The dry run command helps you spot errors in your SnakeMake file, such as a missing file or dependencies, without the need to run the entire workflow. Then it can help on workflow optimization. By reviewing the dry run output, you can identify redundant or inefficient steps. And finally, It's also good for resource estimation. The dry run command can help you estimate the required resources for your workflow. So if you like to a cluster and you request too few resources, your pipeline will take too long to run. And instead, if you request too many resources, your job may get stuck in the cluster queue for long. So that's it. We've seen how the SnakeMake dry run command can be incredibly helpful in identifying and fixing errors in your workflow without the need for executing it. By using the dry run command, you can save time and resources while ensuring that your workflow runs smooth. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channels for more data science and bioinformatics tips and tricks. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.